Hello, everyone. Let us start with yet another very important topic in this series of lectures on nationalism and constitutional growth in India, 1858 to 1920. We are talking about some of the events in the modern Indian history leading to independence, the freedom struggle which started through the organization of Indian National Congress, and we saw various kinds of a split happening uh, within the Indian National Congress, and also the events which unfolded post Parliamentary reforms as Home Rule League, Lucknow Pact, and many others. Let us now enter into a domain which is going to be a deciding factor in a very important phase, rather, of the freedom struggle, which is going to lead in another time frame that is called 1920 to 1947. So just prior to 1920, this event became one of the very important in the history of freedom struggle. Rowlett Act was also known as Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act in 1919. We saw that how through the very repressive and oppressive kind of mechanism, British Raj wanted to crush the very sentiment of Indians, where they were voicing their idea of right to self-determination by demanding for self-rule. Um, you know, it was rather in the series of various repressive acts, starting from Vernacular Press Act to even division of partition or division of Bengal or partition of Bengal as it is called, to also curbing many of the revolutionary assertion. Rowlett Act in a way gave a lot of power to police. Without trial there will be imprisonment of revolutionaries, and because police is empowered, uh, there was no control over police. So let us see that this act called Rowlett Act triggered a seismic shift against British imperialism. Um, it gave unity across divisions, from Indian National Congress to Muslim League to even those who were involved in the what is called Home Rule League, Annie Besant's group and Tilak's group. All were kind of united on one platform to dissent, to defy the Rowlett Act. So, all religions, all castes and classes in India stood united. And this is, again, as I was saying, that this is going to define the very story of Indian independence later on. So, Rowlett Satyagraha of 1919, where Gandhi has already arrived, and we will be, of course, talking about Gandhi in the coming lectures to see that what was the early intervention or early contribution of Gandhi in this phase where Rowlett Act and Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened in front of Gandhi, and how Gandhi responded. So Gandhi, in a way, responded to Rowlett Act through non-violent civil disobedience, and this marked a pivotal moment in India's quest for freedom. Now, If we see already the background, as I said, that from Vernacular Press Act to Defense of India Act 1915 to even partition of Bengal, and of course, many other kind of repressive mechanisms that what British Raj employed. Uh, Defense of India Act 1915, imposed during World War One, set the stage for repressive measures against anti-colonial activities because Indians were now united on one platform through Lucknow Pact, where we have been seeing in earlier lectures that how Muslim League and Indian National Congress, in their own parallel Lucknow session, agreed on certain demands, which was incorporated into that what is called Montfort reforms or Montego Chelmsford reform of 1919. So, sedition committee led by Judge Sidney Rowlett recommended the continuation of suppressive measures, suppressive powers. So, Rowlett Act hastily was passed in March 1919, and it was, a kind of act which sparked vehement protest by Indian members. Now, this was again, it's a kind of carrot and stick policy of British government. So, Rowlett Act, viewed as part of British carrot. Government of India Act 1919 was considered as a carrot, and Rowlett Act was considered as a stick policy, which started tightening control. Now, this was the unjust act. It was, in fact, already within the parlance through, as I said, that through the Defense of India Act 1915. Um, if we see that this curtailment of civil liberties was seen as a betrayal by the British, who had promised political reforms after the war in exchange for India's support and resources. Instead, they chose to further tighten their grip with the repressive new law. Indians from all walks of life were outraged, setting the stage for widespread agitations across the country. Now, this was a kind of, betrayal of promise, and outrage occurred across India. And this, in fact, led to the event on 13th of April 1919, which is called Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. Now, Jallianwala Bagh Massacre was really a turning point in the history of modern India, and especially the freedom struggle, where what we witnessed in Jallianwala Bagh massacre was a brutal killing of innocent people who had just gathered to protest against this draconian law called Rowlett Act on the day of Baisakhi. Now, Rowlett Act and its repercussions fueled the flames of resistance, shaping the trajectory of India's independence movement. The Rowlett Act, an emblem of British operation, spurred a collective resolve among Indians, ultimately contributing to the momentum towards self-rule. If we see, that how all these things unfolded, it was enacted due to British concerns about terrorism and revolutionary activities threatening colonial rule. Uh, there was suspension of civil liberties, so it's a draconian in nature. The Rowlett Act suspended fundamental civil liberties, raising widespread criticism. There was detention without trial, so authorities were empowered to detain alleged political agitators for up to 2 years without trial, undermining due process. There was absence of appeal, where Individuals are stripped of the right to appeal against administrative detention, denying a crucial legal safeguard. uh, there was in fact camera trials. So this in a way introduced camera trials without juries for sedition cases, compromising judicial transparency and fairness. Also, it tightened censorship measures, giving the government control over publications deemed extremist. There was restrictions on public gathering, which imposed, restrictions on public gathering, limiting the space for dissent and political expression. Now, because Gandhi has already arrived, and Gandhi is in fact doing a lot of activities in the, with the peasants and kind of raising their issues. By 1915, Gandhi is here in India. By 1917, Gandhi is in Champaran, and then later on in Kheda and in many other places where Gandhi is employing the very idea of non violence, civil disobedience, and satyagraha. So, this is satyagraha, which is called call for truth. In fact, was Gandhi's call for dissent, unity, and non cooperation against Rowlett Act. So, responding to the oppressive Rowlett Act, Gandhi urged the nation to unite in disciplined protests against this unjust law. Now, Gandhi, in a way, uh, was already aware about some of the strategies which were employed by British citizens there in London, in United Kingdom, as well as also in South Africa, where Gandhi has already been born as an activist. So Gandhi's those activities in Tolstoy farm to Transvaal communities and many other kind of activities. Gandhi advocated for peaceful opposition through hartals, economic boycotts, and non cooperation to demonstrate collective dissent. Now, this Rowlett Satyagraha began on March 30, 1919, and this was kind of first major public protest organized on March 30, 1919, marking the initiation of the Rowlett Satyagraha. Moving ahead, if we see, this is a Gandhi, in fact, is touring. Gandhi has already been touring from 1917, and in between, this Rowlett Act happened, and in a way, Gandhi, embarked on nationwide tours to establish Satyagraha Sabhas, mobilize supporters, and raising awareness about non-violent satyagraha. This became a nationwide awareness because Gandhi was in fact suggested by many leaders, stalwarts, that if Gandhi wants to know India, then Gandhi must have a tour of India to just see the very weaknesses and strength that where people can be mobilized and what are the resources of mobilization. So this in a way became kind of also miniature of organization where Satyagraha Sabhas established in Bombay, followed by committees in Delhi, uh, Gujarat, Allahabad, and other regions. Despite lacking full organization support, as I said, It was a miniature organization. It was a mini organization, Satyagraha Sabha, because it was not having a very tight kind of organizational base, or also it did not have, say, headquarter of a kind where we can say that it was a full-fledged organization. So, because already parallel home rule leagues which were going on, by Tilak and any Besant group, home rule leagues and Satyagraha Sabhas, they became the base of the Gandhi's mobilization tactics. Also, this in a way garnered diverse support, where this particular movement was in a way supported by leaders like Rajendra Prasad, Vallabhbhai Patel, Jawaharlal Nehru, and others, showcasing unity across classes and communities. Now, in terms of extent of participation, what we evaluate, Rowlett Satyagraha in a way was a very enthusiastic response, led to work stoppages in factories and in industries. People closed their shops. There was even that what in today's time we call it transportation disruption, or we also call it rail roko abhiyan, and many kind of names we employ. This is a Gandhian tactics in a way. Transportation were disrupted, and also peaceful rallies were organized across India. Now, you know, Gandhi himself was kind of, touring India and motivating students of the universities and colleges that they should boycott their schools and colleges. And in fact, the students, and youth, they listened to Gandhi and they just rallied behind him by boycotting schools and colleges. Now, of course, there may be a different kind of opinions about whether this very call for boycotting schools and colleges that is justified, right? So there can be diverse viewpoints on whether getting into support base students by boycotting their schools and colleges. Now, if they're going to drop out for longer time, whether they will be coming back to again their studies, that is going to be one of the challenge. So many of the people, I mean, even Gandhi called for then MAO college that the college must support, the Rowlett Satyagraha. And within the Aligarh Muslim University campus, then college, some of the professors, they were in favor of Gandhi, and some were not in favor of boycotting, students boycotting the college activities like studies and other things. So, so in a way, students and youths all over India, when they actually heard Gandhi to boycott schools and colleges, they in fact came in large number and they become a support base. Extent of participation we are talking about. I mean, we are talking about a kind of movement which is initiated by Gandhi, and it's a non-violent movement to say, and in a way, people are listening to him. So that's a kind of also going to be a very defining kind of movement, and also it's going to pave the way where Gandhi is now going to employ such kind of non-violent methods like satyagraha, civil disobedience, and non-cooperation. And it was kind of unprecedented unity. Gandhi's ability to unite diverse groups created unparalleled unity with people across faiths participating in disciplined civil disobedience. Now, uh, Gandhi, in fact, because of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, and because there was instances of violence, including the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, which in a way prompted Gandhi to call off the satyagraha. And Gandhi later on reflected on this, because the kind of momentum this Rowlett Satyagraha had already, in a way, kind of going on, uh, calling off the Satyagraha, in fact, Gandhi viewed as a Himalayan blunder. And Gandhi also emphasized the need to teach Satyagraha methods to the masses before resuming such movements. No, so what was the Jallianwala Bagh massacre? And definitely we'll be focusing, one full lecture on Jallianwala Bagh massacre, and also the very story of that how it unfolded. So I mean, it in a way became a brutal turning point in the freedom struggle, history of freedom struggle. So, because of the various leaders uh, arrested, because of the Rowlett Act, sparked protests. And on April 19, Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal in Amritsar, ordered by Lieutenant Governor Sir Michael O'Dwyer, sparked protests. Now, this, in a way, got a demonstration by, people demanding release of their leaders, led to troops firing on peaceful protesters in Amritsar, resulting in numerous people dying on April 10. Now, because of the killing on April 10, and also the leaders like Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal, uh, people gathered in a bar, a garden called Jallianwala, on April 13, on the day of Baisakhi festival, for a public meeting. Now, Brigadier General Dyer, or Reginald Dyer, who arrived with his troops, blocked all the exits and ordered indiscriminate firing. So, to some extent, this very act of firing, was a brutality, and ultimately, that what we know about this data, or the facts, that more than 1,000 people died and 1,500 wounded. Most people were local residents and pilgrims visiting the Golden Temple. Now, the firing continued for 10 minutes, resulting in over 1,000 deaths and 1,500 wounded. 2 days after the massacre, martial law was clamped down to 5 districts: Lahore, Amritsar, Gujranwala, Gujarat, and Layalpur. The declaration of martial law was to empower the viceroy to direct immediate trial by court martial of any person involved in the revolutionary activities. So, as the news of the massacre spread across the nation, Ravindranath Tagore, Guruji, Gurudev, returned or renounced his knighthood. So, in a way, and we'll be talking about this at length. Tagore's renouncement was seen as a mark of protest, and then after this, on October 14, 1919, Hunter Commission was formed to investigate the massacre, and Brigadier General Dyer defended his actions. So Jallianwala Bagh became a pivotal moment, exposing British brutality and operation. Uh, and this energized the resolve for independence across communities, leaving an enduring impact on India's freedom struggle. And ultimately, on March 13, 1940, Udham Singh, an Indian freedom fighter, assassinated Michael O'Dwyer, the orchestrator of the massacre in London, as an act of retribution. Moving ahead, if we see impact and significance of Rowlett Satyagraha 1919, by 1920, because of the protest and also because of the many leaders within Britain and all across the world, Jallianwala Bagh massacre echoed. It became a kind of, a black spot on the history of United Kingdom, where you know the massacre of innocent people in fact resonated among the people uh, who had at least a conscience, and persistent protests compelled the British to repeal the Rowlett Act, which was in fact considered a victory for civil liberties. And also, it this victory was significant also because of the fact that if it would not have been repealed, this would have simply means that even British Raj or British government is going to come up with more such kind of brutalities. And also the very justification of Jallianwala Bagh, if it is not going to be repealed. So the act's repeal, though belated, emboldened Indians and fueled the momentum of the freedom struggle. Now, leaders of the freedom struggle are in a way very sure about that they are nearing to the independence, but independence still is a long way to go. Now, Gandhi's leadership in a way was proven. It got established. Mahatma Gandhi is a mass leader who showcased his ability to unite diverse segments of society through non-violent civil disobedience. Gandhi's support for Muslim discontent with British treatment of Turkey paved the way for his leadership in the non cooperation movement. Now, this was the shift in freedom struggle strategy. Rowlett Satyagraha highlighted the inadequacy of constitutional means in persuading the British to concede. This shifted the focus to mass agitations and non cooperation as effective strategies to exert pressure on colonial authorities. And this finally changed the nature of freedom struggle, which in a way was a realization that constitutional methods alone were insufficient, led to a strategic shift in the freedom struggle. And of course, the arrival of Gandhi, which paved the way for Gandhi's non cooperation movement in 1920, emphasizing non-violent resistance and non cooperation with British rule. This is all in the Rowlett Act. In the next segment, we'll move to study about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Thank you.